Right. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, it's time to get a little more serious for the van. As you can see, I got it jacked up now, and time to do the jobs I've been putting off. I've been putting this off for ages. I really don't like lying on my back under cars. I got neck issues, and I end up with stiff neck, headaches, dizziness. I can get all sorts of issues from lying under cars. But anyway, so for that reason I've just been putting it off. But it's time to get on with it, get it done. I had another issue. You can see I've got my radiator on. That was another thing that had to be cleaned, painted, etc., flushed out. Got all that on, hooked it up, put coolant in it, and it leaked from the worst possible place. It leaked from right here under the inlet manifold. This inlet manifold had a lot of corrosion on it, and the engine reco place had it welded, and they did a shit job. Really bad. There's still big gaps and crevices, and I put a bit of JB weld on it, and cleaned it off. And I don't think that's actually why it's leaking. I think because I put sealant around the water jackets, and I think the issue is that I used the wrong sealant. I didn't want to just put silicone. I don't think it'd hold that so much pressure. You get a fair bit of pressure in there. And so I used Stag, but the issue you get with Stag is you've got to get it on really quick. Stag dries really quick and it goes hard. And I think that's what the issue is that, by the time I got it lined up in place, got all my bolts in and got it locked down, the Stag sealant was already hard, and just just made it worse. I said I should have just waited and gone and buy. I think the sealant you'd want to put around here would be probably a copper one, or probably that paint on aviation sealer. That seems to work well in issues like this, and places like that. That still sets hard, but it does take a while. Probably even requires heat to make it go hard. So I'd have plenty of time to get it all on in position. The other issue you get with these is the little cork gaskets that run along here, oil seal. They always sort of slip out of place when you go to put it on. You really have to glue them onto one or the other, either onto the block or onto the manifold, just to keep them in place. And see that when I was bolting down, that popped out, so I had to loosen it again and push it back in, and yada yada. So that probably didn't help things either. Probably when I loosened it might have actually torn the gasket around the water jackets. I'm sort of undecided now as to what probably because of funding. I can buy a new manifold online on eBay for $200. Plus postage, or might even be free postage. But whether it's any good, $200, it'd have to be made in China job. So the other option too is that we have a wreckers in town that has old Holden stuff. They may have a decent one at a reasonable price. But the issue is that I've got a heap of other expenses. I really can't spend $200 on this right at the moment. So unless I can get one ultra cheap, and if somebody in Tassie's got one of these, it's a 308, but it's the same manifold for the 253. So if anybody's got one of them in, yeah, good shape, like when I say good shape, not warped, not corroded around the water jackets, etc., or threads stripped out of it and anything like that, you want to flog it off cheap, let us know in the comments. I do read my comments pretty much as soon as they come up. I check every day. So it'll be like today's Sunday afternoon, so I can't do anything till Thursday anyway, till pension day. So if you got one you want to flog off cheap, you live in Tassie, I want to say Tassie, even northern Tassie, and I can drive all the way to Hobart. It cost me $100 in petrol to get there and back, so don't have the time anyway. So if you're up around Launceston and Devonport way, let us know. But before Thursday, if I haven't got anything by Thursday, I'll just going to put a different sealant on it, buy a new gasket, put it back on. Okay, the other thing we've done, we've got all our steering hooked up, alternators on, belts are on. As I said before, everything that goes back on here has to be cleaned up, painted, etc., etc. Everything has to have something done. That's why it's such a slow process. I did get my steering column all in properly. That's all put back together. It's got to come off again because like this blinker arm, that's been held together with duct tape for several years. That was snapped right off, and so at some point, I'll be taking that off and getting a new arm. You get them from Brass Bears, they're not expensive, so that's no big issue either. Right, anyway, onto the underneath, and I jack it up, and the whole thing, friggin' redbacks everywhere. Zoom in on this one. Redbacks are what you call black widows in America. I believe in America that's probably your most venomous spider. They're not something that we worry too much about in Australia. There's a lot of things that are way more dangerous and venomous than these things. But I mean, at the same time, you still don't want to get bitten by them. Make you really sick. It could probably kill a small animal or a small child. So you still be that little bit wary of them. But that's just one. There's these are all redback webs. There's stringy, ugly webs. So they're all through underneath the car. They're freaking everywhere. So right now I'm not that keen to climb under it. As I said, it's a good excuse to put it off yet again. So I think what I'm going to do is go up the I go and get some surface spray and spray all these things. I could just get something to squash that real easy, but they'll run it. As soon as you poke at it, it'll run in behind something where you can't get to it or something like that. So you spray them first, they drop to the ground, makes them real easy to squash them. It also poisons all the eggs so that they don't hatch out later wherever. I mean, they're all getting knocked down and brushed out and swept outside or something, but you still don't want them rehatching. So surface spray will kill the eggs as well. But, as you can see, we'll put you back to a non-zoom. No, that didn't work. Oh yeah, it did. Okay. This, if you hadn't followed the build, this has been off the chassis. Everything's been totally cleaned, painted, fixed up. Got all new shockies, all new bushes, ball joints. Yeah, still got to get a couple of tie rod ends. There's a couple of tie rod ends are a bit how you going, but yeah. I mean, they're not that bad, but I've replaced everything else and was replace all of them as well. So, yeah. Yeah. And yeah, right now, I got to get all the brake lines, fuel tank, yeah, all of that back in. Yeah, because as I said, everything was stripped off. I got all new brake lines made up for it because they were pretty rusted. So, yeah, got all brand new ones, and I primed and painted them so that they won't go rusty again either. Yeah, so they've all got to go back on. Yeah. What I didn't get is new flexible lines. They're a bit more expensive. But yeah, I haven't checked the old ones yet. What happens with the flexible lines is they swell up over time, and then they just start blocking the fluid off. And yeah, but they're actually a fair bit cheaper than, fair bit more expensive than your hard lines. So anyway, we'll see how we go. If they're clear, I'll put them on. I'm still going to replace them down the track before it goes in for rego anyway. But, yeah, if the other ones are clear enough to work, well, I'll put them on for now. You notice 2 wires hanging down there. That's for the fuel gauge. And normally they only have 1 wire. But the issue you get is that the gauge will stop working after a while because you get a bit of rust around the tank, around the brackets, around the bolts. And yeah, if you paint all those things, you take your brackets, bolts, everything else, it's just not going to work. And yeah, it's a poor design to begin with. So what I got on mine, hopefully I can show you actually. I don't know if I might have already made a video on this, but get around the other side. See, I started having this issue years back with the fuel gauge not working. That's before I even painted it all up. And, I ain't done that recently, obviously, but yeah, because things have gone rusty, though, and no longer making contact. Now they're earthed. And this is all taped up, of course, because I painted it all. And, it's going to take a while to get off. Okay, so I can't really I'll show you in a hurry anyway, but yeah, what I've done, I might be able to show you, yeah. What I've done, and obviously you don't do this while your tank's full of, in the car full of fuel. You take the thing out, and yeah, that can be an issue in itself. There's just this ring that you pop it in and you turn it, locks it in. It's got an O-ring behind it, and yeah, if there's any rust or any of it's uneven, like bent in any way, it doesn't seal. So yeah, you can buy the rings new. You can buy the O-ring and you can buy the metal ring new, but you're going to make sure all of where it's sitting is in good shape too. Yeah, that was another thing I had a lot of issues with. Even after I bought a new seal and a new ring, it continued to leak, and that was because the surface that it goes against wasn't that straight. So I had to clean it all up, paint it, and whatever. But yeah, and I just had that wire held on my nose clean for a while, but yeah, it's now been soldered on. But yeah, that's so you run an earth wire to that, and you'll never have an issue with your Yeah, with your fuel gauge not earthing. Anyway, I suppose that's about all we can do. I still haven't finished this freaking quarter panel. Yeah, how annoying that was. Brand new quarter panel from Rare Spares, $1,800. And of course, you can't buy a panel wear one. You can only buy a Ute one. And you then have to cut the the B-pillar part off and fold it over, and yeah, that was a major job in itself. There's videos on it, but as I said, when I go to fit the door, it doesn't line up. It's this crease here is different. And so I've already started manipulating it and putting it back, welding it back together. But yeah, this was totally different. Didn't match the door. It wasn't out far enough, or it was out too far or something. I forget now. But yeah, so I had to cut all the way down that edge. Yeah. Cut all the way along there just to pull it down a couple of mil. And, I mean, part of that too was that I'm putting statesman doors on. They don't fit to begin with, so. But yeah, I was just going by, when the door didn't fit. So I started working out, trying to figure out what was going on with it. And I started doing measurements. And that's where I found that, yeah, it was about 3-4 mil higher where the crease is than the other side. So, and yeah, I suppose that could have been my doing in fitting it. I mean, this has had a pretty big whack too, so the panels that they're fitting onto may have been out of line too, so I totally blame Rares for having a bodgy panel. Yeah, although, having said that, as I said, this didn't match up either, so yeah, probably was the actual quarter that wasn't exactly right. And, yeah, so I got to get back and finish that. I said this is a really slow job because I'm not going to take any risks. I do a long buckle on this, so it's just one tack, one tack, one tack, one tack, one tack, one tack, down. Yeah, leave it until it's fully cold and then start again. So yeah, that's why I haven't sort of got around to finishing it. It's just, yeah, so time consuming. So, of course, being a smoker too, that's another issue, and that, I'll do a row of tacks and I'll go and have a smoke. And that means I'm having a smoke every half hour and then I run out of tobacco. It's freaking expensive in Australia too. Thanks to our government, 90% tax on tobacco. And the government, which, that comes down to the greenies, they're pushing that issue, the anti-smoking thing. And you'd like to think they're looking after your health, but yeah, when you know what the government's up to, they're pushing everything else to make you unwell. So you know that there's an ulterior motive, whether it's just the money thing or whether there's something else, we don't know, but there is an ulterior motive. It's not about your health. So, yeah, and I'm 64, sorry. I've been smoking since I was 10-year-old. So, been smoking 54 years now. Yeah, it's not good for you. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to tell you it's good for you, it's not. But it's not the great harmful thing they're making it out to be either. Yeah, there's if you want to do your research on cancer, cancer comes from the things they are pushing. Mostly, medications, vaccines, food chemicals, a whole range of things. But anyway, I shouldn't even be talking about that on here. I'll have my channel taken down. You're not allowed to speak truth on YouTube. Or not too much of it anyway. Alright, rambling on about nothing, so we'll cut it there, and yeah, thanks for watching, and yeah, we'll catch you again later. Bye.